This is Gun Cranks.
Well, hello and welcome to the Gun Cranks. We are back again on our own Gun Crank channel. I'm Brent Wheat, editor of Guns Magazine, Tom McHale, editor of American Handgunner, and Roy Huntington, our former, now retired boss. Roy, I know you just came in. You just got your second COVID shot. Any side effects or anything going on?
Oh gosh, not a thing. No, I feel great.
Excellent.
They said that there may be some side effects. They said some twitching and feelings of paranoia and all that. But you know, I don't think I have any of that at all.
Well, excellent. We encourage folks to get their inoculation if they're going to. I mean, I've had mine, and I've noticed no side effects myself, other than a deep and abiding love for our Lord and Savior, Joe Biden. So I think it's probably a good thing for everybody. So anyway.
Well, you were telling me you've developed an attraction to Bill Gates, though.
Don't talk bad.
Or was
about
that before?
Bill Gates.
Huh?
Okay, enough COVID jokes and vaccination jokes. We've got a great show tonight. We're going to talk about the NRA and what you should be doing to fix that little ugly problem. We're going to talk reader mail, and then we've got show and tell, just like kindergarten, which is pretty appropriate here on the Gun Crank. So guys, let's kick this sucker off. Well, welcome to News and Views. We are going to answer a whole lot of questions from our readers. Now, the genesis of this was our Guns Magazine podcast, of which I'm the host. The episode a couple weeks ago, number 76. Let me check. Yes, episode 76 with Jim Shepard. We talked about the NRA's been going through their bankruptcy hearing. They've been testifying as to what has actually been going on. It's not just rumor and innuendo in the New York Times. They actually testified to it, and it's pretty awful. So Jim and I discussed that, and the reader mail has been overwhelming. First, I was surprised we didn't get any negative feedback. Everybody said, this is a train wreck.
There was one.
The NRA's There was?
Yeah, that Wayne Napolari.
Wayne
Napolari.
La-
Didn't he send a nasty...
LaPerry.
LaPerry?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, he sent a bad
But-
email.
Yeah, but we got a lot of positive feedback, and again, the overarching thing here is the NRA is a fantastic organization. It needs to continue. It needs to do our vital work of teaching gun safety and teaching in general and supporting the Second Amendment, but it's pretty obvious to any thinking human, Wayne's got to go. So the reason we're doing this segment now is we're going to try and answer at least our opinion of what we think you need to do to help Wayne settle off into the sunset. So I'll start since I got the floor.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Wayne.
Bye-bye,
Bye-bye.
Wayne.
Now, that's just not
Basically-
nice. That's really just not nice.
And we're not nice, and by golly, sometimes you have to be not
And
nice.
you have to break some eggs
Yeah.
to fix the NRA, but
You do.
the only two...
Tell us how to do
Okay,
it.
here's what I think.
What do you think?
The only two things that I believe are, number one, the membership has to raise hell, and they have to raise hell with the board members. I know for a fact that, well, by the time this airs, there will have been a special board meeting to discuss some things, but pick up the phone, write a letter, send up smoke signals, raise hell with your board members and also with the administrative team at the NRA. They need to understand the members are tired of this Mickey Mouse and they're not going to put up with it. Phase 2 of this, and I'm hesitant to say this, but it's probably the only way it's going to affect real changes. If you stop giving them money and Wayne can't shop in Beverly Hills and take his private jet to his security retreat on the yacht, he'll go elsewhere. And it may come down to that. I'm hesitant to say that because we don't want to kill the organization, but we got to chop the head off this snake, and we got to find some folks that are more worried about the organization than where they shop or where they vacation. So that would be my plan B. That's the nuclear option, and a lot of folks are doing it already, but that's the only two answers I've got. Raise hell and take the money away, and they'll go find greener pastures.
Well, the challenge of this whole thing is the NRA has deliberately modeled themselves after the United States Senate, right? No, they have. There's 76 board members. Now, here's the Senate part. a third of them, less than a third, 25 come up every 3 years, for a vote. So, and then we got a nominating committee who kind of chooses who gets to run for the board and all that, and then 25 of them can run. So that's more board members than congressional interns, I think, right? So how can you apply pressure to that large of a crowd of people? I agree with you. I think that's what needs to happen. You need to pick your subset of board members. It's kind of hard to, reach all 76, but we can't say, oh, we'll just vote in a new board, because the board is designed to be dysfunctional. You cannot have anything run by 76 people. You can't. That's why we have the problems we have now, right?
Yep. Roy, you've been a long-time observer. You know all the players in this saga. What do you think?
I know a lot of the board members, and I have known them over the decades, and the overwhelming majority of them are really decent people. And when they join, they think they're doing it for a very good reason, which is they want to do the right thing. So they want to support the programs, and they want to support teaching, and they want to support gun rights, and they want to do all that kind of stuff. And from the ones I've talked to, they soon learn, though, is that there is this, other controlling group. And so while they attend the meetings and they go through the motions of joining committees and whatnot, that many of them feel a lot of dissatisfaction. And so those people are hungry for support. And if we ignore it, if we just say, well, it's hopeless, we can't fix anything, we can't control the board, we can't vote new members in, and we lose interest in it, well, then they're almost like the cockroaches that run around in your house. And then when you turn the light on, they all go, right? So what we need to do, I think, is that we need to keep the light turned on. And so just like politicians, honest politician, which is an oxymoron, I realize that, but I'm willing to go out on a ledge here and say there are some. They're quick to tell you that when you are a squeaky wheel, when you write to them, when you write to the newspaper, when you make videos and post them, they really do listen, because they need your support in order to help them make their point in government. Well, guess what? The board member is the same way. If they can attend the next board meeting and somebody's going to hold up 300 letters from members demanding change, well, see, that helps to give them some motivation. That helps to give them some ammunition. And so I think we need to support the board, and we need to do that by communicating with them directly. And you can actually do that email. You can write letters, and they'll get it. They really will. The other thing, though, Brent, I hear what you're saying about money. I will not write the NRA a check for $100 to go into the legal defense fund or something, but I will maintain my basic membership. And the reason I think that's important is because they have to have the numbers. So, if your whatever membership costs right now is $35 or something like that, what that does is that says there's over 5 million NRA members. And so if they lose that, then there'll be 4 million, then there'll be 3 million, then there'll be 2 million, then they'll be inconsequential anymore. So, and really the fulfillment of the magazine that you get and sort of the basic operating costs and basic salaries and basic program infrastructure is used, that's what that money goes to. So I think maintain your membership. But I agree with Brent in the sense that I wouldn't write blanket checks for $1,000, and they make a big deal about that legacy program, I think it is, to where when you die, a part of your estate goes to the NRA. Well, see, to me, that's just like, hey, here's a $500,000, Wayne, So I think that's what's, so keep it up. And now there are other organizations, Tom, you might have something you want to say about that. What do you think about, readers have often told me over the years, I want to quit the NRA, and can you tell me what other organization I should join? And I always tell them, keep your membership in the NRA, and then reach out and support others. I don't know, what do you think?
Both is the right answer, because it's important to recognize, you hit on the most important point here, and it's the number. The number of NRA members is what impacts legislative decisions, right? If the NRA had 500,000 members, we would have this much clout in Congress, contrary to, all the garbage you hear on XMSNB, PMSNBC, right? The NRA doesn't own anyone. The NRA gets outspent by Michael Bloomberg personally every single election. So we own no one. The only ownership we have over legislative issues are 5 million voters. And they say, okay, 5 million people are paying $35 a year or whatever. That must mean there's 10 or 15 or 25 million people that agree with them, right? So I'm with you on that. You got to keep your membership. If you're really cranky about the money situation, get an associate membership. I think it's $10, right? You don't get the magazine, but you can say, okay, you're getting $10 and not a penny more. But I'm staying in the 5 million crowd, right? Because I want to fix the organization from the inside. So that's point one. You got to keep your membership. Point two. You have to recognize the different organizations for what they are. I love the Second Amendment Foundation. They do stellar work. But they do this much legislatively by design. It's not their charter. They live in the courts. The NRA doesn't. The NRA likes to take credit for all these big court wins, but it's the Second Amendment Foundation that's doing all the heavy lifting in the legal system. So the right answer is both. Be part of the 5 million, impact the Congress critters, and send money to Second Amendment Foundation to win in the courts.
Well, something else too to remember is that as big as it is, the NRA is still a grassroots organization. We have a really strong local organization, and through my years as in the outdoor industry, I've actually been a speaker at many local NRA events. And you tell them what it's like to be in the magazine business and what it's like to go to the SHOT Show, and tell a few anecdotes about hunting and things like that. But I think what's important though is that you can motivate them and remind them just how important their involvement are. And what I always liked about those is these are local organizations, members of local gun clubs, and they're the ones that support the youth training programs. They're the ones that support local law enforcement. But it's really kind of, that's under the umbrella of that they're all this NRA organization membership. Right. And so it does more than just support Wayne LaPierre's, Africa hunts or something. So as Brent said, the organization is a good organization. The people who are in it are good people. What they do are good things. And we just need to cut the head of the snake off.
Well, that's the unfortunate part is when the money supply dries up, the first people that are going to be impacted are not Wayne. It's going to be staff. It's going to be the people doing the day-to-day work that are going to lose their jobs first. So, like Brent,
it already has.
It as a nuclear
it already
option,
has.
It is. It's a terrible nuclear option, but
Mm-hmm. So Wayne, if you watch the gun cranks, you're going to get $600,000 a year for the rest of your life. Go do something else. Make everybody happy.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that the other day.
Else.
Yeah,
that's true. That's a real deal, right?
And they cut that in half because it was going to be like 1.2, and that's according to Jim Shepard. But Shepard is really up to speed. He's read all the trial transcripts, which I cannot imagine. I guess Jim needs more hobbies, but he's really knowledgeable. And he said, yeah, it's 600,000 is the current, shall we say, golden parachute for Wayne. So Wayne's
how does
going
that
to be
feel
okay.
when somebody's donating money? And they're like, okay, my entire donation is going towards that.
Yeah. Or this
kind of demoralizing,
Or the security retreat on the 105-foot yacht, or that's the thing. I think that this is the tipping point. Like I said in the open, it was hearsay. It was he said, she said. The New York Times, which is not a known and reliable source when you're talking about the NRA, they're saying all this stuff. Now it's in court. And they've testified to it, and Wayne himself has testified. So it's pretty much out there if you want to go look at it. And I'm telling you, if you've donated anything to the NRA, it's got to make your blood boil, because I don't have those kind of means. And when you hear of Wayne LaPierre blotching his shot on the elephant, and that was all prepaid and all that, I don't have that kind of money. I've never had an opportunity to botch a shot on an elephant. So I understand he's the head of a big organization. He had certain perks, and he should be well compensated. But as Shepard said, it is being run as a kingdom rather than a nonprofit. So, and if every viewer calls one buddy and says, "Look, we got to contact somebody on the board. We got to make noise about this," things would happen pretty fast. So, it's up to us, the quiet majority, to not be quiet in this case, because we got to save this organization. It's a good organization. It solves our problems. We just got to fix the problem in the executive suite.
Right.
Can I end this with something? And that is that I have said before in public forums, and I've written about it, is that I have always felt a very strong moral and ethical obligation to our readers and to our clients. And I know you guys feel exactly the same way. It's why I hired you. And if you look at what LaPierre is saying right now, and his inane justification of his $300,000 worth of suits and the reasons that he took his yacht, journeys and all of these other things, that doesn't show any moral or ethical obligation to the members who he arguably has sort of sworn to help and to hold this organization together. And so, to me, that's a period to the sentence. And he is yet to apologize. So think about that. So, all right.
Good thoughts. Take action, folks.
All right, everybody, it is time for my favorite segment, Reader Mail, Viewer Mail. We get lots and lots and lots of mail. I get all the mail. So we thought it would be fun, educational, and maybe even entertaining to share some of the emails we get. Do we have all the answers? I'm thinking we don't have any of the answers, but no, I don't know.
No, we have all the answers.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to give it a try. This one, can I start? Can I do the first one?
Go ahead.
Okay. Because this one, this man, Nate, gets an award. If we had an award, I'd give it to him. Okay. It's a little dated, as you can tell. Yesterday, I took part of my stimulus check and bought myself a brand new Kimber Micro 9 and a set of Hogue grips. I hope the Biden crew appreciates my support of both local business and American manufacturing. I know I do.
Buy a gun for America,
Nate.
by golly. Yep. Buy a gun for America.
That's just an example. That's sacrifice. That's patriotism. This guy's got it all, right?
Well, considering he just spent his own money on his own gun, considering he probably paid that in taxes to begin with.
No. No, it was free money from the government, from the Beneful. That's a dog food, right? It's appropriate. The Beneful government.
Municipal. I don't know.
I thought Beneficent was like a villain in Cinderella or something, or
yes,
one of those movies.
Exactly.
Okay.
I saw a funny cartoon the other day, and he said, I'm from the government. And he says, I'm going to give you your benefit check. And the guy said, cool. And then the government goes, can I borrow your checkbook real quick?
Nice. Well, okay, cynics. Here I am. I want to give Nate an award for doing the most productive thing possible with his stimulus check, and you're making fun of it. So you guys just shut up.
Oh.
All right, Brent.
Okay.
What do you got?
What I've got is a letter that we get a whole bunch every week. I know Tom does. And this kind of will represent all of those letters. It says, "Dear guys, thank you for finally publishing Crank Diaries, which is a wonderful anthology of Connor's work and includes stories prior to my subscription. As a long-time subscriber to both Guns and American Handgunner, Connor's articles were always the first ones I read, not to disparage the other brilliant writers. I'm sure that I represent all of Connor's fans who would like to email him, but do not want to invade his privacy by sending anything to his old AOL email address. Could you please publish a current email address for those of us that want to know? Let him know how much we miss reading his stories and wish him well." And you might as well include how we can contact the rest of your contributors who don't mind getting feedback. Well, I will say, I actually brought this up so Roy can address the John Connor situation. He's retired and probably not coming back. As far as writers in general, though, we're different than some magazines. Tom and I both answer reader mail. We may not answer every single piece, but we at least try to read them. And if they reference another article or another writer, one of our great staff, we always make sure to try and send it to them. And again, they may not have time to write you back, but at least they will see it. So unless it's completely nutty, which we get 2 or 3 a month. I always make sure, and Tom does too, that we try to send those letters to the writers, and they appreciate it. But you got to understand, we get a lot of mail. We have to serve as the gatekeepers because our writers like their privacy just like everybody else does. So part B of that, Roy, talk about the Gun Crank Diaries.
You know, I've known Connor for almost 40 years. It's just amazing to think about that. But he was a soldier, he was a policeman, he was an entrepreneur. He was a lot of things. What you see in the pages actually is really him, and that's just are the things that he did. And I know that because I was actually there for some of those things. And so, but he was, as he likes to say, blowed up too many times. And toward the end of his retirement, he just simply got just tired. He was worn out. He used to always say, it's not how old you are, it's the number of miles on the frame. And he has a lot of miles on the frame. And so he finally just said, I just really need to stop. I need to just relax and stay as well as I can be. And that's what he's doing now. And part of that is that as much as he doesn't like it, he just doesn't want to have to respond to the thousands of people who want to, you know, a moment of his time. Because when you multiply that by hundreds and thousands, suddenly that's a lot of pressure to be under. So anyway, I know for a fact he sends his fondest. I know for a fact he appreciates it. I know for a fact he loves having all of the old gun cranks in that book to get out there to everyone. And so if you do want to share something, you know, send it to Brent or Tom, and they'll know. And then every once in a while, one of us will send him a note that just says, hey, we just want to let you know everybody's really happy about the book, and, you know, and hope that you're doing well.
Before we get off the topic, you go to Amazon.com, Gun Crank Diaries. You can order an actual hard copy. And we understand some folks don't like Amazon, but it's just what it is. It's the only game in town, and it is selling like hotcakes. So if you like the Gun Crank Diaries,
get an ebook version too if you like that.
Yeah. Your turn, Tom.
Okay, so this falls into the "come on guys, work with us" category. I was gonna call it the "cry me a river" category, but that was kind of rude.
Wow.
So, like, how about "come on, work with us" here? So, from Martin, I am a dinosaur. Got some self-awareness, but I have a flip phone I carry for emergencies. I couldn't even tell you the number to it. Your latest contest requires scanning one of those psychedelic postage stamp looking things or get a postcard and mail it in. So it goes on and on and on about the trials and tribulations of entering to win a free gun. Free gun. It's for winning a free, did I say free? Free gun.
I think you said free.
Okay. Like, come on, guys. We give away a gun every issue of all the magazines. You know, you can mail in an index card with your name and address on it. It's legit. You know, people get these things, random selection every time. So we really try not to make it that hard. Mail in the postcard.
And be creative. You should see some of the postcards we get. Wink, wink, hint, hint. Yeah. You know, when the war was going really big overseas, we used to get them written on the back of MRE
Really?
packages.
Nice.
Yeah, sent in by GIs.
Nice.
That was really fun. Yeah, that was cool. Or sometimes you would get a family picture with grandpa and grandma and the kids and say, this is my family, we're all shooters, you know, with all the information. So have some fun with it, like Tom says.
Very cool. Well, I've got one.
All right, what else we got?
Okay, I got one from Jerry, and he's talking about Roy's cover gun article in the June issue of Guns. He did the Cimarron Smith & Wesson No. 3 American, and it's a pretty cool old school gun, repro that Roy did the cover story on. We got this letter from Jerry, said, took it out today. First off, let me say it's a well-made, tightly fitted, good-looking revolver, a delight in hand. He goes on to tell about shooting, and then he said, I took your advice for offhanding with a slight modification. And he said in quotes, release that fair maiden snidely whiplash or prepare to meet your maker. Kudos to Roy and everybody else.
Awesome.
I think because what I think I said, unhand her, you ruffian, or something like that. Yeah, good for him. I love that exchange that we have.
Correspondent, if you bring in Snidely Whiplash or possibly Rocky the Flying Squirrel, I'm always going to read that.
Nice. Yeah, hey,
He still watches cartoons too, just so
Seriously.
you know.
And, do you have a problem with that?
No, I support
good.
it. So
good, or there'd be a mail about you. All right, I got another award. This is for brilliant idea of the day, and this is from Andy. And just as a bit of background, he's writing in about the whole 80%, receiver fiasco, where the government wants to ban all the ghost guns that, because a lot of the gangbangers these days are driving around town and they have like a mill set up with a generator in the back of their car. And what they do is they mill these 80% guns and then they use them, for, drive-bys and stuff. So it's a real problem. But anyway, Andy has a great suggestion here. There's an old saying, change the name and change the game. I suggest we refer to 80% guns as personal use firearm. Puffs.
I like that.
And now it goes on, and he says that would play really well. Who could ban a puff?
Yeah.
And or you could turn it around the other way and say that the guys in office now are afraid of puffs.
Yeah. That's brilliant.
So I love this. Andy, that's a brilliant idea. Thank you for sharing.
Absolutely. We got time for another one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it. Close us up.
Oh, okay. Well, I can do that. Dustin writes, Dear Brent, my name's Dustin, been concealed carrying since I was 19. Love your stuff. I was listening to one of the podcast episodes, and I hear you guys talking about different things and ways for everyday carry. And I heard you say you carry a man purse, aka fanny pack, laugh out loud. I would like to suggest you look into a holster utility belt type thing called a belly band. You can find them on Amazon, etc., etc. Keep up the awesome show, blah, blah. Well, I've used a belly band, and I would bet Roy's tried one out. Basically, it's just a big elastic thing with a pouch in it. I did write back to Dustin, and I said I've used the belly band in the past. Personally, I didn't find it comfortable. I'll agree it's great for deep cover and keeping things secure, but it comes down to body type. I'm guessing you haven't spent as much time in the buffet line as I have.
It was like wearing a corset. Not that I've ever worn a corset,
right?
Okay, but I was just trying to. There was that one time, but that's No, I'm with you. I don't know how they're not fit for man or beast. So
yeah.
Well, that was a lot of fun, guys.
I'm
glad we
I lied.
did all this.
I know
one
that's
more.
never happened
What?
before, but I lied. I told a little fib because I got to share this one because I'm going to choose this. This is from Chip in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and I won't read the whole thing, but basically he said. A few weeks ago, he said he couldn't find any new episodes of Gun Cranks, and he really enjoyed the show and hope it's not been discontinued. And I pulled out Chip's letter because we got a whole bunch of letters like this. And so we actually were doing some retooling and some strategizing. Is that what we did? Yeah. So Gun Cranks is back, new and hopefully, well, can we say improved?
We're never improved.
We're not as bad. Not as bad? Okay. But anyway, Chip, thanks for writing in, and everybody else who wrote in too. We're on it. Thanks for letting us know. Y'all have a good one.
Where was he from?
Muscle
Shoals, Alabama. Yeah.
Shoal. Because I knew somebody who was from Squirrel Fart, Alabama. So that's just go Alabama and thinking of those good town names.
On that note, thank you for joining us with Reader Mail. Next time I do have an announcement. Roy will not be joining us for the Reader Mail segment, but we'll see. Brent and I will see you next time.
Editor at gunsmagazine.com and editor at AmericanHandgunner.com. Keep those cards, letters, and MRE boxes coming.
This is the most powerful handgun in the world. Now I know what you're thinking. Do you feel lucky? Only this really is the most powerful handgun in the world.
Wow.
And thanks to Taurus, this is their new Raging Hunter in 460 Smith & Wesson Magnum, which I have shot it twice so far. We'll be doing a video.
Twice.
And I've shot it twice, and first time I shot it with no gloves on, then I put my glove on, and then I shot it again. And it actually, though, the darn thing is so big and it's so heavy, it's actually really fun to shoot. It's not, it's not anything to be that afraid of. Plus, it has these porty things. And so I will say
Porty
this, though,
things.
little porty things, yeah, absolutely double up your hearing protection. So I wear soft earplugs plus earmuffs, plus I step out from underneath the overhang on my back porch here, because on the first shot, I forgot to tell you about that. On the first shot, the little porty things, it shoots this big fireball out the top. And then all of the wood and stuff from the deck above all came sprinkling down all over. And it was actually really funny because when it first happened, first of all, your eyes are crossed and you can't see and your nose got sunburned from the blast. But then suddenly all this little stuff was hitting me all over, and I thought, what the hell just happened? The world ended because I shot this silly gun. But it wasn't, and I lived. And so you'll see a video on it later, lest you think I'm kidding, which I'm not. So Taurus, Raging Hunter.
Check for low-flying planes next time before you set that thing off.
It's really true. I think I killed a bird that was flying over the top. It's like poof, a little fireball, and it kind of went.
No, roosters don't fly, do they?
Yeah, don't
Roy,
get me going.
Does that come with a
All right,
tactical
who's
depends?
next?
I'm just saying. Okay.
That's funny. Actually, that's probably a good idea. So, but
I'll
that's
go
another
next.
episode.
That is nice.
Okay. Guess what I've got?
Right.
Edward Scissorhands.
I got to say, when
spaceship.
they contacted me and said, "Do you want one of these?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me? What in the world is this thing?" It is from Warthog Sharpeners. It is the Classic 2. This is a knife sharpener, and basically, if I can do it here, you do this. You run your knife down through there. Okay.
Don't cut your finger.
Let me just say this. It looks like a completely jury-rigged piece of low-grade engineering, and it is anything but that. I am so impressed. I'm the guy, I'm sure you guys too, you've got all these knife sharpeners laying around. Of course, we get knives all the time. I am knife sharpening impaired. I have a hard time putting a good edge on a knife, and I've actually had buddies that are butchers that have, no, you do this and you do this, and it's like, mine will always cut, I can get them as sharp as maybe a licorice stick, and that's about as close as I get. Let me tell you what, gentlemen, this sucker right here, you run your my pocket knife through it. I can do surgery with this thing now, and it's not because I'm very smart. It's because this freaking thing works. So Warthog Sharpener, I got to look at it, Classic 2, and it ain't much to look at, but I'm here to tell you, I'm totally sold.
How much is that, Brent? How much is that? What's
it
the
has
price
a very
on that?
reasonable price. You did that to me again.
Gotcha.
You got
Gotcha.
me. I don't remember, and I didn't write it down, and you caught me on it, but it is reasonably priced, especially compared to some of the other high-tech knife sharpeners. So,
And the important thing is, it's so easy.
exactly.
even
If a
Brent
gun
can do
editor
it.
can sharpen a knife with this thing, and I think it also works like as a halo traction device. If you break your neck.
It does.
It does.
It looks like a real Rube Goldberg device. I've seen him going, and it's like a grasshopper walking because all those levers go back and forth and everything. It's
Well, it
really
maintains
funny.
the angle,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Perfect
you've got
blade edge,
different.
perfect
It's all
edge angle.
adjustable. I mean, I'm telling you, I thought, no way this thing's going to work, and I'll be darned, it worked.
Wow.
There you go.
Okay.
Who'd have thought?
Well,
Thomas?
I got something, and I didn't find this on my own. I have to say, our new caretaker of the Crank Diaries, Doc Dabbs, turned me on to these. It's Holosun red dot sights. Now, this isn't new. They've been making red dots for quite some time, but for whatever reason, I hadn't really checked them out until very recently. Now, I got two floating around here that I've been testing the past couple of months. This is the HE 508T, right? And there's two cool things about this one. One, It harnesses the power of the sun. You'll see it's got solar panels on the top. So what that does is the sun shines down on this and it transmits and burns a copy of the reticle onto your target. You know, kind of like wood burning. You know, it does. No,
What will
I
they
know
think
it's
of
truly
next?
amazing. No, but seriously, what's super cool about it is the battery runs forever. It's like 50,000 hours. It's just on all the time because it gets an electrical boost anytime there's light involved, and it brightens up the reticle for you. But the real cool thing about these is it's not just a dot. It's a 32 MOA circle, you know, with little miniature crosshatches with a dot in the center. Everybody I've handed this to absolutely loves it. It is so fast and precise because you got a fairly small dot, a 2 MOA dot in the center, but you don't lose track of that because of the big circle surrounding it. So it's a really nifty kind of system. Absolutely love this thing. So cool stuff.
Yes. How
Brent,
much is that, Tom?
How much is that, Tom?
$894,000. No,
All right.
no. Actually,
have a
it is.
dozen
It
price.
is not. I might have exaggerated a little there. It's 435. See, I'm looking down because unlike some people who do shows, I prepare. There's this concept called show prep.
Tom,
you know,
keep
where you can-
vamping.
you can
Let me
print out
open
and
up
look
my
at the
computer
price
here.
for when somebody asks you a hard
Yeah.
question. You know, $435. That's retail, so you get it for less than that on the street. But it is
And you know
night
what I
vision
would like to
compatible
say?
too, so you get that.
Oh, if for anyone who thinks there isn't such a thing as perpetual motion, think about this. That has a solar
Yeah.
panel. So the more you shoot it and the more flashes you have from gunfire, the more it charges itself.
Oh my gosh.
You see? It's a
You're right.
symbiotic relationship.
So you want to
shoot
shoot
more,
magnum
you have more
loads.
power.
We need to put this on that
Yeah.
Taurus, that raging 460 thing. Yeah.
On the
The
Yeah.
40
thingy.
thingies.
Yeah.
You know, the
All
folks
right.
from Taurus, they are good friends of ours, and they watch this and they're like, Roy, come on.
Really, Roy?
Oh, we'll see it in the catalog, only they're going to call it with Taurus's patented
Porty
PT ports. They're porty thingies ports. So, yeah. All right.
think so.
Have we beat this into the ground?
Hey, cool toys this week. I want the
Bye,
knife
Mom.
sharpener.
Well, that's it. We've survived another Gun Cranks. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've had fun doing this. It's really more therapy for us than anything else. And again, we hope you're enjoying it. Please check out AmericanHandgunner.com, GunsMagazine.com,
Mainly AmericanHandgunner.com.
and then go to GunsMagazine.com. It's a far better magazine, but don't tell anybody. But no, actually tell everybody. Tell them how great our magazines are. Tell them how great Gun Cranks are. We have a huge promotional budget for Gun Cranks. It's that. So if you would want to share a little bit on your own social media channels, we would love that. So I got to say, it's been fun. We've enjoyed it. We'll have another show here shortly. And I think, Roy, you've got some great parting words for folks.
A Gun Cranks tip. Remember, this is on, this is locked.
There you go.